Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about the difference between feelers and thinkers when it comes to the Myers-Briggs personality types, and that would translate to feminine versus masculine energy in the Truth and Empathy personality test that I've created. So the first concept to understand is that it has to do with the decision making process. So does a person prefer using ethics and morals if they're a feeler, or do they prefer using logic if they're a thinker? And one thing to understand is that feelers are not overly emotional. That's not what it actually means. Is that when they are faced with a situation and they trying to determine what is the best course of action, they will look at the emotional context. So they will think, well, what if I'm put myself in these person's shoes? Whether this decision that I'm going to make will affect the harmony of that group. So they're looking very much into the human element of a situation. By contrast, someone who's a thinker prefers just to use facts and remove the emotional or human element, and they are better able to make decisions that way. And one way to help you determine if you're a thinker versus a feeler is to use the 80-20 rule. So if you were to make 80% of your decisions using ethics and morals, do you feel that, okay, you are in your element and you feel a surge of energy because, okay, this feels right to me? Whereas, let's say if you are a thinker, you will feel better if you use logic for 80% of your decisions. That's when you know that this is the right, personality type for you. The other way that you can look at it is that whether you are feminine energy, so if you're a feeler versus a masculine energy. And you can actually see that in terms of how they come across. So a feminine energy tends to be more expressive, warmer, receptive. They're more patient. There is a sort of nurturing aspect to them. So if a person is going through, let's say, an emotional, challenging time, they will be drawn to a feeler. Whereas a thinker is more when you want to take action or something like an emergency and you want someone who is not emotionally involved. Like if you want just the facts, that's when I find that thinkers tend to excel. So it's not right or wrong. And also, people use both, but to what degree they're using ethics and morals versus logic to make decisions. If you actually look at the feelers versus thinkers, even in school, you'll see that the feeler types tend to excel in subjects that are geared towards right brain dominant individuals. So let's say subjects like visual arts or theater, creative writing, psychology. These topics, they tend to find it easy to understand. Whereas, let's say if you look at the thinker type, they usually excel with math and science, something that requires to look at things and removing the human element and just look at the facts and the logic. That's when they excel in these fields. So, to summarize, feelers are focused on ethics and morals to make the decisions, and that again, the rule of thumb is if they did that 80% of the time, they would feel in their element. By contrast, thinkers prefer to use at least 80% of the time logic to make the decision, and that's when they feel that they make better decisions. So there's no right or wrong. There's pros and cons to being a feeler or thinker, and that is reflected in the energy also that they inhabit, whether they are a feminine energy if they're a feeler, or if they're masculine energy if they're a thinker. I trust that this information was interesting. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.